Hello and welcome to this week's crystal forecast. It is, there's Kanga is sitting here. Kanga is a dog. See, look at her. She's so cute. Anyways, she decided to join me for the crystal forecast and she was just licking my leg and it was kind of distracting. So welcome to this week's crystal forecast. It is July 11th to 18th. So I'm just going to start with the forecast because I have nothing else to say. So our first crystal card is Bloodstone Purification. Don't know if you can see that very well. I'm using one hand to balance the camera and I'm going to read it with only one hand today. So we'll see how well this goes. So give me a moment to tune into the card, Bloodstone. The image that I'm getting is the image that I have as my Facebook profile picture for my personal Facebook account. And what that is it is a picture of a person or a humanoid who is sitting in meditation. And half of the picture is, I believe, a man who is black and he is decorated in kind of like the mystical way that a lot of paintings are done, and behind him it's all nice and light. And then on the opposite side there is the woman aspect, and it's all light and bright and then dark background. That's what I believe it is because I don't know it off the top of my head. But essentially it's coming up right now because it's a representation for me in my framework of how we have two parts of us, two aspects of us, and how there's always a duality until we attain a oneness consciousness or an enlightened consciousness as we go on this planet. And this duality is really important for us to respect. It's really important for us to witness and see and give it its place. It's also important to realize that sometimes when we live in a world of duality, we need to act in the world of duality as a dualistic person. So what I mean by that is that sometimes, as an example, we feel that it is better to have oneness consciousness, so we try to minimize our masculine and feminine aspects inside of ourselves so that they feel balanced to us when we are living in a female body. And we also feel very feminine, and we find our greatest joy being, say, 75% feminine. But we do not find our greatest joy being balanced, being 50-50. There are some people who do feel balanced at 50-50. I personally have discovered that I don't. I feel more in balance when I am, say, the 75% feminine and 25% masculine. That just works for me. So how Bloodstone is coming in with this is that it's a really important time for us right now to be allowing all of our attachments to being this perfect balanced being, to let that go, to realize that we are already balanced, but we balance in different ways. And our balance is probably different than somebody else's balance. It's not a good idea to base our balances on somebody else. It can be a good idea to learn from them. It can be a good idea to say, oh, you do this way? Well, that's awesome. I'm going to see how that flows for me and how that works for me. But ultimately, who you are and where you find your balance is very much an individual path and very much an individual choice. Another example that comes to mind is balancing the kink in your life. Some people are going to be very, very kinky. Some people are not. And that's fine. And it's about finding the balance for you of how much you want to experience that versus how much you don't, or where your comfort level is, and finding your joys and finding what makes sense for you, what brings your life into balance. Some people I know can work 40 hours a week at a job that they find fulfilling, say accounting, and they find that that is a good work-life balance for them, and they're home the rest of the time. For me, that doesn't work. My balance is the maximum that I want to work in a week is 30 hours a week. Then if I go over 30 hours a week, I don't feel good anymore. I start to feel too tired. I start to feel drained by working because that's not a good balance for me, right? My balance is working 30 hours a week at maximum and then allowing my creative, mystical side come out the rest of the time, allowing myself the time to explore those things that I want to explore, and realizing that that's okay. It is perfectly okay to not feel in balance with a 40-hour work week. It is perfectly okay for whatever your balance is. And I have to reiterate, your balance is perfectly okay. It is perfection for you and for yourself. And finding your joys and adding those joys to your life are just going to be amazing. This is also about releasing limitations. We often put self-imposed limitations. All our limitations are actually self-imposed. My Yogi Tea had a really good quote on it where it talks about how when we release the ego, we no longer have limitations because limitations are brought on by our ego. It's brought in by the ego that we haven't yet integrated into our consciousness. Ego is not a bad thing, but often we let ego run our lives when it is best that we run our own lives. Our souls run our own lives. Who we are run our lives instead of ego's programming, positive or negative. Sometimes it's really positive that ego steps in because ego will also be the part of us that stands up for ourselves. Which is great, and we do need that sometimes. But it's just important to make sure that we are not allowing our ego to limit us, because the way that the energies are shifting on the planet right now are allowing us to experience more than we've ever experienced, more magic than we've ever experienced, more flow than we've ever experienced, and it's an ideal time to surrender to that flow of the universe. And it's an ideal time to be practicing trust as we flow through our lives right now. It is also the ideal time to be releasing and working on any blockages that we have, that we experience in our daily life, that we've been experiencing for a while. It's important to be working with that and releasing that, letting that go, letting all of the flack go, just letting it move through our bodies. And really grounding it, releasing it all to the earth, releasing it all to things that will transmute it for the highest good of the universe. And with that comes a reminder that the planet takes all of our crap and transmutes it into something useful. Trees take the bad air that is no longer useful for anyone and creates good air that is healthy for us to breathe. And the planet does the same thing energetically. The atmosphere does the same thing energetically for us. Energetically, we can just let it pass all through us, and it will just be picked up, transmuted into the love that it is. Whatever it is, if it's fear, it'll be transmuted to love. We don't really have to do it anymore. We can just let it flow out through our feet, through our hands, through our auras, letting it flow and be caught by the universe that is waiting to just transmute everything right now. Okay, that's all I have for bloodstone purification. And now I am going to pick up a crystal. I can't get sitting on two of them, so I'm going to pick the one that's not being sat on by the dog. This crystal comes with a reminder to dance. Just dance. Get off your butt and just dance. The importance of dancing right now is that through the movement, we are activating certain things that we need activated inside our body. We are activating certain things at the air, we are activating it on the planet, and dancing is one of the strongest earth medicines we have as humanity. When we dance, especially barefoot outside, the earth is being healed. We are connecting into her heartbeat, and we are giving her our love and our energy and our joy and everything else that we feel. It's sadness, our pain, our anger. We are giving it all right back to the earth, and the earth takes it just like an unconditional loving mother would take it all and just look at you and go, I still love you. I still nurture you. I still take care of you. And when we go out and we dance just for her, when we go out and we just allow our feet to lead the way and allow us to heal the earth by our dance, that's when she goes, thank you. Thank you so much for honoring me. Thank you so much for just healing me with your feet. I was once at a Native American center, and there was a quote on the wall that said, Chamomile loves it when you walk on her. To her, it is a massage by your feet. And that is what happens when we walk on the planet, on all the plants. They view the world a little bit differently than we do. Most of us would not like to be stepped on unless we're cracking a back or something like that. But the plants, they love it. The earth, they love it. They want us to come out and they want us to play. They want us to dance and they want us to love on the earth. They want us to be connected to the planet, to the earth. And sometimes when we live in big cities, like I've experienced in San Francisco, we can get lost in the concrete jungle. We don't have time, nor do we find it easy to be placed on the earth. And so this crystal calls us to that for this week. Really just allowing it to flow out of us. And if you're not a big dancer, I encourage you to maybe when nobody's home, blast some music that you really, really love and just let the music move you. Just let it move you and let it heal you. Let it connect you to yourself. From your mind, go into your body. It's so important that we are being connected to our bodies right now, and we are allowing our physicality to be part of our world instead of being separated from it. We are physical beings, and we are souls experiencing a physical body. That is why we chose to come here, is that we would have this physical body. And as frustrating as it can be sometimes for many of us, it's important that we remember that in order to enact our mission, in order to enact love, in order to do anything, we have a physical body, and dancing will connect us to our physical body, and we will lose our mind, and we'll just dance and let the peace and the love overcome us, the bliss from dancing. Let's celebrate the new moon this week with our dancing, with our acceptance of what is, with our joy, and with our silence. Letting our bodies do the talking sometimes is better than doing the talking. Sometimes. That's all I have for this week's crystal forecast. So have a lovely week. I'm definitely going to be enjoying some dancing this weekend. So I hope you do too. Have a great week. Love you lots. Thanks for watching. Bye.